And again, what I would say with that is that that's actually a feature. It's not a benefit.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between the two?
No, what would you say?
So a feature is more like a component. A benefit is why that component is valuable.
So if I were to put that in words now, what would I say? Like,
Yeah. So when you're talking about like personal development, personal growth, it's like you could say, like, for example, the benefit that you're going to focus on is because you can name the benefit. I named my benefit as leverage. It wasn't the
yeah,
feature, it was the benefit.
yeah,
So you can name the benefit of personal growth and be like, um, you can describe it as, and I think to your target audience too,
mm,
um, you could describe it as, I mean, just from speaking to the person in the conversation I just had now, like just the benefit of Ihsan.
mm, service, being of
Yeah, I mean, khidma means service.
service.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you could focus on service, you focus on ihsan. So you notice how like now these benefits actually sound great for your target audience, uh,
Mm,
which is kind of like what we did in the first ad too. But when you're describing the benefit, it could be, yeah, like, let me teach you a little bit more about ihsan. Did you know that this is what it means?
mm.
Do you know that this is,
Oh, I
and
see.
then what you can even focus on there is not just the benefit, but the benefit of the benefit. So that's what I was doing in the leverage video. I was like, so there's this cool thing that all the greatest of all times do, which is leverage. If you don't know what
Yeah,
leverage is, it's basically where you can get more out for what you can get in. And the benefit of leverage is that it saves you all this time so that you don't have to do it all by yourself.
yeah,
So I could say, like, with the Ihsan, I could be like, if Ihsan means your commitment to excellence, I could be like, one of the things that was really holding me back for such a long time when I was in corporate was that I just felt like I was playing way smaller than who I actually was.
mm.
And as I
Like I was
started
meant
to,
for more than this. Yeah,
yeah, I felt like I was
yeah,
just meant for more. And so I started connecting more so to my faith and Islam and everything like that. And I quickly realized that, you know, I was doing the fundamentals and the basics, but there was nothing more than that. And I started to learn about this thing called Ihsan, that all the greatest, female leaders like Khadija, the prophets, they all displayed this one thing, Ihsan. And this is what Ihsan is. It's your commitment to excellence, um, striving for that excellence. And the greatest benefit that you get of this is that you actually start to level up. You become a whole different person, a whole different identity, and you start to change and transform. And that's exactly what's happened for me over the last however long. I've transformed my entire mindset, my identity. I'm a whole different person. Biggest reason that I am is because I got a mentor, right?
yeah.
So if you as well want to get connected to a mentor that can genuinely help you heal, change, transform, and level up your Ihsan, comment down below Ihsan, and I'll send you some more information.
Mm,
You see how I did that?
yeah. That was quite good actually. I might steal that.
You're welcome back to Mo's Flow, the show where souls grow and hearts glow. And in today's episode, through persistent request from not just the people in this community, but just from what I've noticed, people in general have been asking of me, is to just give them the game when it comes to online marketing and paid advertising. And I've been in this game for literally the last 6 years or so. And to give you the rundown, like back then, I had no idea what I was doing. online whatsoever. I just thought that it would be cool to make an income without having to be in one physical location. I just wanted to travel back then. Like that was one of the main reasons for why I thought that business model was a great business model and why paid ads was a great strategy, because I could do it from wherever and I didn't have to sell to my friends and family. And so, like probably the first skill that I learned in business was the skill of how to go on Facebook Ads Manager, go and create an ad, and generate leads. Like I learned that skill before I learned communication, before I learned sales, before I learned leadership, before I learned um, duplication. Like that was the very first thing. And so it's uh, it's kind of difficult for me to even remember how things were like at the very beginning, where making that first ad seemed as though it just felt like it was this impossible feat. It just didn't even make sense to me that like why would anyone listen to me as this 21-year-old guy who um like didn't have any track record, business experience. How could I generate leads? Why would anyone want to work with me? And I just wish that I could go back in time, have a conversation with that guy and give him some of the gems that I'm going to give you right now as well, so that I could really shake him up and help him understand that like you have everything within you, no matter what level you're at, to be able to generate leads. And a great example of this is how when I figured out the game for myself, I even taught, um, one of my cousins and gave him the same strategy. And at the age of like 19 years old, he went and started to generate these leads for his tutoring company and built a six-figure business because of it. Right. So the the thing is it's like it's such a powerful skill to learn. I'd say it's even more powerful to learn this skill than it is to learn sales, than it is to learn um, making content, because it's probably the fastest thing that you can do to go online and start generating an income. Even when you don't have an offer, I didn't have an offer when I got started out. I just went and ran ads to somebody else's offer. And that was a way that I was able to get my first customers and generate online income. So the skill of like running paid ads is invaluable. Um, and another thing that I personally loved about it was this idea that if I was to make an ad that worked, I could run it and it would just continue working for me like every single day, generating me leads. And all I had to do was like pay a little bit of money. So my ad budget back then was very humble. It was just a £5 a day ad budget when I was running, which when you think about it, like £150 a month. But from that £150 a month, if you've got a product that's like £100 product, then you've just literally got to get two people, and now you're able to continue advertising. And that's really the main game when it comes to advertising as well. Is it's about how long can you stay in the game for. Um, Once you've learned how to stay in the game, then through more refinement, eventually you're going to be able to also start getting returns from playing the game. But most people, when it comes to ads, like they don't play the game long enough to eventually see the returns. So what it was like in my journey is that for the first 4 years or so, like I did not see enough returns to become profitable from my ads, um, because I was just like chucking money in, chucking money in, chucking money in, and not actually getting any sales. So the first few years, I probably invested like tens of thousands, must have been 30, 40K in ads over that time. Um, probably a little bit less, like maybe around 20K, something like that. But it was such a huge number, so much so that I remember distinctively the line in the sand moment that I had with ads, where I was on a call with one of my my mentors, and This is the guy who had been guiding me throughout the whole process. And I just was vulnerable with him. And I said, listen, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like every single month, I'm putting in 600,000 pounds into these ads. And I know I'm going to generate these leads, but I'm just not getting the high ticket clients that I thought I'd be getting at this point. And it was heartbreaking because not only was I putting in money, but I was also putting in time, like making the ads, managing the ads, speaking to people, connecting DMs. So for everyone who was in my family, my friends that were all like advising me not to go and do this thing, it was very difficult to give them any evidence to suggest that this was eventually going to work. Um, and that was really difficult. So I went and told him, I was like, yo, I don't think I can continue doing this. Um, I want to, but my mind is just not even allowing me to show up with confidence to go and advise other people that they could potentially do something similar as well if I'm not getting these results for myself. And so I said, like, what would you do if you was in my position? Like, what would be the difference in your mindset right now versus mine? And I think this is a big learning lesson in itself because at the end of the day, people always say the quality of the questions that we ask will determine the quality of the answers that we get, and the quality of the answers that we receive will determine the quality of our life. So I think I asked a really good question then, back then, which wasn't just like, how do I make a good ad or what's wrong with my numbers and things like this, but I actually decided to take a step back. And I was like, no, not the skill, but give me the difference with your mindset. And yeah, that was the game changer for me because he said something that just allowed me to have this like huge weight off of my shoulders. And I went from being on the call and like really low mood, depressed, didn't wanting to continue, to then feeling super inspired to just go and get back in the game and start making more. And it was literally like after this moment that I started to get much better results with my ads as well. Um, so it went from me getting barely any leads, barely any traction, barely any quality, to like after that one conversation, to my top leaders I attracted like within the same month. And I was just getting like so many, not just paid leads, organic leads, they were just coming from everywhere. Um, so the thing that he said to me was that I showed him my account. I showed him like, here's all the money that I've wasted on your stupid strategy. And he basically responded back saying like, well, if you look at it like it's a waste, then the energy that you're going to hold is going to be, of course, like not going to be serving you. And the better way to look at it is, what if you just saw that all this money that you've put in is eventually coming back to you? Like, even if it hasn't come back right now, what if all this money is coming back to you and in bigger quantities? And I was just like trying to wrap my head around it, but it made sense. Because what I realized is that the people who get paid at the highest level for the ads that they're putting in, they're not just getting paid based off of the money that's invested, but they're also getting paid the amounts that they are because of the lessons that they learned through making the mistakes in the pay to play model. You see, a lot of other games, when we play these games, like you initially pay to get into the game. Like when you play a game on PlayStation, Xbox, when you play a sport, like you play to get in the game most of the time, but you don't have to pay to play the game. There are some games where you have to do that. Like I used to play a lot of tennis back when I was a lot younger, and I only realized how much it costs to play the game when I stopped paying, when my parents stopped paying for it. That was a pay to play model. Like if you wanted to play a game for like 2 to 3 hours, then it cost you a tin of balls, which were like £10 or something like that. And if I played every day, then it cost me £10 a day. So it's the exact same thing with advertisements. It's not a thing where you can just go and play for free once you've bought a football and you go play in the park. It was one of these things where yeah, even if you're playing in the park, you would still have to keep on um, paying every single time that you play because it was a pay to play model, right? So it's the same thing with ads. And the people who are eventually getting paid just for investing, not even having to necessarily put in much time, the reason why they were getting paid so much is because they paid their dues initially in the form of learning lessons, in the form of mastering the game. So this is what I personally had as this like mindset shift, which was maybe I haven't wasted all my money. Maybe I'm actually further ahead than the person who hasn't put in like as much as I've personally put in. Because one thing that I couldn't reconcile for myself was there were people who I knew that when I'd met them, it was literally like the first ad that they'd ever put out. And within the first week, first ad, they end up getting like a high ticket sale. And I'm just like, damn, why couldn't have that been me? You know, what did I have to go through all of this time? Some people are putting in like £100, making 10K, and it's just it felt unfair. And I kept on comparing my results to theirs, thinking that like doing so would give me some type of benefit, but um, it showed me what was possible. So I'm grateful for that. But back then, I think I was finding it very difficult because I felt like I was losing. I felt like I wasn't getting my results that I personally wanted to. But the biggest thing for me was just understanding that it was all coming back to me at some point. Um, just might not necessarily have been as quick as that other person who would have got the fast results. And one thing that I'm really grateful for as to why this happened for me this way, there's a few reasons. Number one is because it's given me, I would say, more credibility knowing that I've actually endured the pain that most of the people just wouldn't have. Like any sane person, after they've invested £600 one month, and then a second month, and then a third month, they would just stop doing that. But I wasn't like that. I just kept going. I just kept going every single month, investing, 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 just because I'd made the commitment, not because of what I was seeing in terms of returns, but just because I was willing to play the game and I was committed to mastery. So um, I feel like one thing that it's done, it's helped me gain some credibility because it's like, yeah, if anybody wants to get started out right now, they're like, that guy went through hell, so that we didn't necessarily have to. Um, but then the second thing that I would say is that I'm glad that things happened the way that they did because what it helped me with is having a very high level of what I describe as being like a pain capacity, meaning that the other entrepreneurs who would have started off their journey and like they just straight away went from 0 to 100 and everything was upstream, going from this place to then down to here, I've experienced the drop and it could be painful. So if that was like the first challenge that you had to go through, which was you had to experience the drop initially, then after not having to go through pain, then you may end up quitting at that point because it could be too much to bear all in one go. Whereas for myself, it was more like gradual pain and extending it over a period of time. So then any next level pain that I experienced, I was like, yeah, I mean, I've been through hell already. I can go through it again. So that's another reason for why I'm grateful that things happened the way that they did. Um, but yeah, a lot of people right now, like they come to me as this authority. They ask me the question, like, what's the secret? How are you able to put out an ad, generate leads? Because I've got like, thousands of them in my business right now, which at the end of the day, each one of them is worth something. It's valuable. Companies all the time, they literally pay for data and leads. So this is a genuine asset that I have, but I would never sell it because of how much value there truly is within it. Because even if not every single person has got started off as a customer right now, it's like, why not eventually? Why not in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? The value of leads only goes up over time, especially when you nurture them. So, yeah, a lot of people ask, like, what's the secret? How are you able to do this? And it blows my mind that just more people don't know this skill, or they make it seem as though it's harder than it actually is. Because it's really not difficult, in my opinion, right now. I think it only feels difficult when you don't have that person to mentor you, to guide you, to take you through the process. But if you've got somebody who can walk you through it step by step, then you will literally be able to, within a day, like make an ad like that, and it will generate you the leads that you want. So the truth is that if you have a budget that's big enough, like you could put out anything and it will generate you leads. But if you want to be good, then it's about having not only the lowest cost per lead, but it's also about having the highest return on ad spend, which is your ROAS, having the highest return on ad spend for what you put in. So the main metrics that are important to be assessing when it comes to your advertising game is not even necessarily the cost per lead or the ROAS. Those are more so the things that I thought initially you want to be focusing on, but truly the main two metrics that you want to like really get to grips with and obsess about is number one, your CAC, customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost you to acquire one customer? And then the second metric is your LTV, which is your lifetime customer value. How much is it worth to you to have a customer, right? Over a lifetime period. Because what people don't necessarily understand with this game is that, like, you can initially get a lead who might buy one product from you. So you've got a CAC, a customer acquisition cost of maybe, let's say for easy numbers, £100. Could cost you £100 to acquire one customer. But if all you're focused on is the fact that you've made £100, then you probably might not want to scale that ad because you're like, it's not really getting me the returns that I truly want. But when you can see how much the LTV and the lifetime customer value is, it could maybe be that over the next 25 years, that customer ends up becoming like someone who can bring in 100K into your business. As long as you have an actual product, an offer that has a high LTV. So depending on what kind of business model you're running and what kind of structure that you have, what offers that you have in place, will determine how easy or difficult the game with ads is going to be. Because let's say, for example, you don't have an upsell system, you don't have a back-end higher ticket offer, then it will actually be pretty difficult for you to get good results with ads because you're constantly going to have to be putting in quite a bit of money for what you're actually getting. But if you have a really great back-end system where you're able to convert customers from a low ticket customer to a mid ticket customer to a high ticket customer to an ambassador, like when you've got a really great funnel in place because of the offers in the ecosystem, then it means that you can have a much higher return on ad spend over a longer period of time. So the LTV is like the biggest thing that you want to be focused on, and you can't exactly make the LTV better from being better at ads. That's all about the business model now. But what you can control and influence is the customer acquisition cost. Um, so how you can bring that down is either through the sales process or it's going to be through the marketing. And before you start worrying about like the sales process and trying to change that, I mean, if you're just a beginner, what I really recommend is doing a similar thing to what I did, was just promoting somebody else's offer. So if you are, then chances are they're willing to do the sales for you because they know that they're going to get results. They just don't want to have to do a lot of the manual upfront work of getting the leads. But if you can give them qualified leads, like, they'll do the sales process for you most of the time, right? So all you've then got to focus on is the upfront marketing and the front end marketing. So when you think about how that front end marketing works, it's a case where you've got an ad that you got to produce, that you put on social media, and where that ad will come from, for other people to see it, is literally going to be where they spend the majority of their time. If you think about it, like, how reliable is it that people will every single day go to their phone and they will look at something on their phone? So I think one of the biggest limiting beliefs that I personally had when I was getting started out was around, okay, sure, I know that billions of people around the world are going to pick up their phone and they're going to see a piece of content, but it's only going to be like in their local area. Or if it's not in their local area, friends and family, it's going to be content that's coming from bigger influencers who are a lot better at the game than I am. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that held me back then. But the truth is, if you have a really strong niche that you're going after, of which there may only be 2 to 3 other competitors, or maybe even 100 competitors, it's all about the ratio between how many competitors are in that target audience for that particular niche. So if there's only 10 other people, then um, and there's like thousands of people in that target audience, um, then there's not as much competition. And even then, there's certain things that you can put into the ad of which it will make you stand out in front of the competition, so that you are now the obvious logical choice for people to go with you. So how I did that personally when it came to my ads was in two ways. Number one is that I stood out to my target audience. One of the bit of feedback that people would always say is they were like, we've never encountered anybody that looks like you. It's got the dreads and the beard, Muslim, black, Rasta. Like, we've never seen anyone who looks like you on ads before. I was like, okay, cool. There's a uniqueness here. And that was part of my niche. It's like unique people. So automatically that made me stand out in front of all the other ads that would go out. The second thing that made me stand out was the actual offer itself. So when you think about the anatomy of an ad is just literally like an offer that you are communicating and you're describing, combined with a call to action. That's it. And so if I was to break down what an offer is anything where you are going to describe what the result looks like for another person, um, and the mechanism of how they can get that result. Like, those are two main things. Um, so let's say, for example, like, you've got a fitness business. Well, your offer is going to be, I'll help you get a six pack in 6 weeks without having to sacrifice eating pizza. And you can do it from the comfort of your own home. That's practically the offer. It's just a description of the result. Um, and then you kind of want to also give what we call a unique mechanism. The mechanism is how they're going to get that. So A lot of people talk about how you don't want to sell the plane ride, you just want to sell the island, the destination. The truth is that you want to sell both. You want to focus on the destination and making sure that they can get away from wherever they are right now. But you also want to put an emphasis on the mechanism, the plane ride, like how they're actually going to get there. Because if you tell people that they can go all the way to, you know, the Bahamas, or they can go to Beverly Hills, but they have to get there on a boat and row there, most people are not going to take that. Or they've got to swim there. Most people don't want to do that. But if you can take them on like the version of the Titanic that doesn't sink, or you take them on a private jet, then that's double the reason to go there. So now you stand out in front of all of the rest of the competitors, not just based off of where you're taking them, but also based off of what makes your mechanism unique compared to everybody else. And so the example of how I personally did this in my business was that I had a pool of people who I knew were all being thrown ads around from people that were competing with me, saying that you can travel more, you can create more income, you can get healthier. It's like a holistic transformation that we were offering. Um, and I personally like focused on the business transformation more than anything. You can gain financial freedom, you can create another source of income. But the mechanism was actually the main reason for why I stood out and why people remembered me. And so my mechanism was that I was offering more of a hands-on approach where there was a done for you aspect to what I was doing. And I emphasized on that part. Whereas I saw that everybody else was more so just selling the dream rather than selling the plane ride. And when I did both, like that's when I started to get better results with ads. But what you want to take from this is not to go and start saying done for you in your ads. It's to take the principle of what I did, which was to get creative with my mechanism and to actually like it wasn't even necessarily that I had to change that much. My idea was never to change what I was offering. It was more so what can I emphasize on with my offer that makes it stand out. So when you look at like how you're currently delivering the service, the product, and how you show up as a person, when you look at how you do it compared to everybody else, you want to like write down maybe 2 to 3 things as to what makes it different. What makes it different to all the other competitors? And as soon as you become clear on how you stand out to the rest of the world in terms of what they're offering and how they're offering it, that's how you can make it seem like you are now the best option for people. Because what most people tend to do when they're amateurs, and I understand why this is done, but it's truly not necessary when you understand how ads work. What most people do is they make the mechanism seem better just by the fact that it's cheaper, right? They're just like, everyone else is expensive. We're the cheapest. So just go for us. But the truth is that the cheapest is never the best and the best is never the cheapest. And so as soon as you start saying that, go for us because regularly costs you £100 an hour for personal training, but with us, it's only £10 an hour. Like, yes, the mechanism is now seeming more desirable because it's cheaper. But whilst it's more desirable, it's also something that is going to cause people to have anxiety, warning signs, red flags that will pop up for them because they're like, but why is it so cheap? Because they recognize the cheap is going to be the best and the best is never the cheapest. So you must be compromising on quality somewhere, right? So anyone who is a good quality lead that's a genuine buyer and has done this before many times over, like they don't want to have that experience that they've had in the past where they've been burned before. So you never want to lower the price, but you can't just have a high price that's higher than everyone else in the market without logically justifying why yours is better. And then as soon as you can logically justify that by um, making it obvious that within somewhere in the value equation, which if you don't know what that is, I'll break it down. The value equation is you've got dream outcome at the top. This is like a fraction, dream outcome, and then perceived likelihood of success. So if it seems risky, then the value goes down. But if it seems like it's going to work, from their perception, it goes up in terms of value. Now, the bottom of the equation is the time delay, how long it takes to get there. If it takes longer, then it's less valuable. If it's quicker that they get the result, then it's more valuable. And then effort and sacrifice is how much do they have to put in, how much do they have to sacrifice. The more that is, then the lower it goes in value, right? And of course, the dream outcome. The closer it is to the dream outcome, the more that they'll want to do it. So what you do with the mechanism is that you essentially logically justify by focusing on one of these four variables, maybe a couple of them, to determine like what it is the thing that makes yours better than everybody else's. So again, like this is where the creativity comes in, because when you know your target audience and you know like who they are, what their pains are, what they like, what they dislike, what they appreciate, then you can make a unique mechanism that you know your target audience is going to love. So I knew, for example, like for myself, one of the things that kind of held me back from investing into ads, from building my business and like going all in, was I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to keep my life more private, and I didn't want to have to say things to my friends and family. So the idea of doing paid ads was great, number one. But the second thing that made it great was, well, what if at the beginning, I don't have to actually put myself out there? What if somebody else did that for me? That's kind of what I wish I had. So then I created an offer that was like that. But for you, you want to be thinking about what is it about your target audience in terms of what they don't like, that your unique mechanism makes it so that they don't even have to worry about that anymore. And so if I was thinking about an example of a particular niche, let's say we're talking about, um, you know, again, we'll stick with the gym theme and the weight loss niche. So when we look at the actual campaigns in the past of fitness pros that have done really well, I think the number one thing that stands out for myself is I just remember back when these TV commercials would come out all the time, and it would be playing nonstop with this guy called Shaun T, Insanity Workouts. And I was like watching the commercials just because I was so transfixed by how he was able to sell in such a way where it made me want to buy the Insanity workout, even though I was in shape, like even though I wasn't necessarily the worst looking. I think parts of it was because they did definitely sell the dream really well, showing loads of people that were in shape, loads of people who were dripping in sweat and like dropping weight, testimonies. Like that was a big part of it. This is selling the dream. But what he also was really good at doing was like selling the unique mechanism. And so back then, like there was always high intensity interval training that existed within the fitness world, but he actually branded it with um, his own name that he put on it, that he called, I think he called it Insanity. I think that was the name of the unique mechanism. Like it was some scientific name, because it's another thing about the unique mechanism. When people are creating a name for this, a lot of people will create a name that is just something that sounds cool. But truly, what you want to create as the name is something that represents what the journey is like, number one. But the second thing about this name is that it actually wants to be something that is believable. So the most believable things are usually scientific. They're usually things that are logical, mathematical, um, and it's truth. Like, that's the best way to describe it. So the more believable this unique mechanism becomes, the more desirable the offer is, because the dream outcome and the value that they can gain becomes real. It's like, so it can work because of the fact that, like, there's this thing. Another great example of this was the McDonald's franchise. So part of the reason for why the McDonald's franchise became so desirable wasn't just because they had good burgers, wasn't because they just had a good name and it could bring people lots of money. But what they emphasized on was this thing called the Speedy system. And the Speedy system had a story behind it as to how it was initially invented, developed. They went on a tennis court. They spent hours like getting the right machines in the right place, and it was like this symphony that ended up being created. If you've not seen the movie, I highly recommend it. But that's where they're selling the unique mechanism when they're talking about this Speedy system that made McDonald's seem as though it's like better than everything else that's out there. So what were they emphasizing with that? Well, the Speedy system in terms of value equation, number one, the time delay. We can make the burgers the fastest. And the other thing about it is that they could also do it with little effort and sacrifice, because all the machines that were there and present, as well as the people operating them, were doing it in the most efficient way. So that's how they did it. In the Insanity one, they did it by the fact that, scientifically speaking, from what they were sharing, it was more believable that you could drop weight through the high intensity interval training that they were offering, and doing it from the comfort of your own home as well. That was a big part about it. The fact that you didn't have to go to the gym. So if you were new, you never had to feel any shame and you could fully go all out. And that was a dream for people, which is, I'd say, more so looking at, like, out of all of them, probably be like the sacrifice, the effort and sacrifice that they focused on more than anything. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to get out of the house. So low effort, and you don't have to sacrifice your reputation or anything like that by going into a gym and showing that you can't do anything, So those are a couple of ways that other campaigns and advertising campaigns have done it. So I think this is one of the things that made me very good at ads as well, is I would just literally study and observe like all the great ads from businesses and try to dissect them and see like, this is what they're doing, rather than what most people do. Because I feel like it's a difference between the employee mindset, the entrepreneur mindset. The employees, when they look at ads, they just skip them over and they're like, it's another ad, so annoyed, or they buy. It's one of the two. Whereas what I do as an entrepreneur is I'm like taking inspiration. Welcome, Yasmin. How are we?
Hey, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Sorry, I'm a bit late today.
Well, you can definitely watch the replay. There's a lot of gems that I was sharing in this on the topic that you requested. So it should open your eyes a little bit with the ads. But yeah, I mean, any specific questions you wanted to personally go through right now after I've kind of given a bit of a lowdown around the whole ads thing?
Yeah, my head is like full of ideas now. I'm just thinking what would be the best way for me to start creating as many as I can. Like just without thinking too much about it, and just start creating the ads as much as I can. Like you said.
So here's what I would say there then for the volume game, because it's a really good point. The first thing that you want to do is you want to be able to remove all the obstacles that would mean that it would take longer for you to create ads. So I give you an example as to how I've done it with my content and how I've done it in the past with ads is environment. So
Mm.
if every single ad that you created, you just did it in the exact same environment every single time, not changing it, it's one less thing to think about.
Right.
And also,
Yeah.
when it comes to making ads, if you're testing too many variables at once, then you don't know what's working. So let's say, for example, one day I decide that I'm going to make my ad inside my kitchen, and then I do it inside the lounge, and then I do it in my bedroom, and then I do it outside, and then I do it in a car, and they're all saying different things as well. There's too many variables in place, so the scientific
Right.
experiment isn't fair anymore.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like when you go back into school, they say you got to make it a fair test, so keep all the variables the same in the scientific experiment, and that's what you're doing. So what I would do if I was you is I'd like decide on, you know, certain things that you're going to keep the same. So that's one thing is like the environment. Another thing that you can keep the same is like, what outfit you're going to wear. If you start
You
like,
mean that specific, like just keep things like just uniform.
yeah, because the thing is that the more variables that you put in place, the more that you start having to, like, it basically gets in the way of you just actually doing the ad. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So if somebody took out all those, because you've got a lot of decisions to make. This is what I'm trying to say. When it comes to the ads,
Yeah.
the creative process is about making quick decisions. If you're going to do that many, but
Yeah.
if you have these decisions that are made in advance or made for you, then you can just simply focus on being the star of the show and actually like making those pieces of content, making the ads.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That this is the whole purpose of being uniform is so it's easier to track what's if that's working, it's working. If you change something, then you'll know why it's changed.
Yeah, and that's not to say like never change stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
more so
I mean,
like
initially, just keep to.
you want to have these commitments. So let's say
Mm.
like you're going to do a 30-day run of making ads. Well, if you just did 4 testing phases where it's like I'll do first week and I'll do everything the same apart from one thing where I'm just going to change like the main message. I just want to get the message clear to begin with.
Yeah.
And then the next week, you're like, yeah, out of those ones that I made like 20 ads. And I love the message in this one more than anything. The way that it came across, it resonated. This is what I'm going to focus on. Next week, okay, let me think about what's going to be the main benefits that I'm going to focus on talking about and emphasizing on.
Yeah.
And then you'll just like change the benefits in every single ad, but keep the message the same. Same message, different benefits, different benefits, different benefits. So everyone else from the outside is going to feel like she's just saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's how you want it to be, because they can't perceive the minor differences, but one of them is going to resonate harder than everything else. And that's the one that gives you the lowest cost and highest return.
So if you were to give me like an example ad to look at so that I could sort of model
Yeah.
on, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I can pull up my screen and show you
Yeah.
ads
Yeah.
that I've made that have gotten me results in the past. And to do that, I can just literally like go to my Instagram profile. I think most of them are on there anyway. So I know that. Well, this was like one of the last ones that I made as an ad, and I got some organic leads. But this is more like a, you know, a reel type of ad. It's not necessarily a. Can you see the screen, by the way?
Mute. Sorry. Yeah, I can see that one, but
Yeah. So that's not like a talking one. That's just like a reel.
yeah.
This one was a reel again, where I actually got quite a few organic leads from this. Really simple. So if I wanted to get volume of leads, then I could just run that. But then talking ads, this was one I think that did pretty well as a talking ad.
That I just realized. It's that after studying all of the greatest of all times, whether that be Muhammad Ali, J. Cole, or even someone like Grant Cardone, is that every single one of them shared this one simple thing in common, and that they all implemented this one simple secret. And that one simple secret allowed them all to condense their time frame in how they're able to create their success, which is why they had more success than the majority of people ever. And the way they did that is by using something that we like to call leverage. So if you don't know what leverage is, it's essentially being able to not necessarily just use what you have as resources, but also leverage what other people have. And they all leverage either other people's money, time, experiences, or all three. And so that's why we decided that we were going to help other people get started out with a business model that was the most leveraged business model that you could possibly find, where you could leverage other people's products, money, time, experiences, everything. So if you want to learn more about how our done for you business model works, that's the most leveraged business model out there, we create a 10-minute video, explains everything and gives you the ins and outs to how it works. We'll send that to you. If you comment below on this video, leverage, and one of the team will reach out so you can get started out, see exactly how this works.
So maybe it's good to sort of create them like that one and then put them on Instagram. I'll just post it as a post and see what.
Yeah, because what you notice about that post?
Yeah, you said comment like leverage and then you send them.
Yeah, but did it feel like an ad?
No. Yeah, it looked like an Instagram post. Like it was just a normal post.
Right.
His tone. His tone.
Yeah, it wasn't like salesy. It was just like giving them some information about leverage, and then if you want to know more about leverage, and comment, I'll send you a video.
Exactly. So now, like, I kind of described what the offer was, but I just focused on the benefit of the offer.
Yeah.
I didn't explain what the offer was. I just focused on the benefit. And that's what you want to do as well. Is like you want to almost teach the benefit to people. Right? And this is what I was saying, you can test different benefits of what your target audience might like the most, but you know your target audience as well because you are your target audience.
Yes.
So if you want to think straight away right now for yourself, like, out of all the biggest benefits that you've gained so far from your business, what would be the biggest benefit?
I guess the personal development would be a big one. Mindset shift was a big one.
Personal growth. I think that's a good one to focus on.
Yeah.
Personal growth, personal development. That's a good one to focus on. And again, what I would say with that is that that's actually a feature. It's not a benefit.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between the two?
No, what would you say?
So a feature is more like a component. A benefit is why that component is valuable.
So if I were to put that in words now, what would I say?
Yeah. So when you're talking about like personal development, personal growth, it's like you could say, like, for example, the benefit that you're going to focus on is because you can name the benefit. I named my benefit as leverage. Wasn't the
Yeah.
feature, it was the benefit.
Yeah.
So you can name the benefit of personal growth and be like, you can describe it as, and I think to your target audience too, you could describe it as, I mean, just from speaking to the person in the conversation I just had now, like just the benefit of Ihsan.
Service. Being of service.
Yeah, I mean, khidma means service.
Service,
So
yeah.
you could focus on service, you could focus on Ihsan. So you notice how like now these benefits actually sound great for your target audience, which is kind of like what we did in the first ad too. But when you're describing the benefit, it could be, yeah, like, let me teach you a little bit more about Ihsan. Did you know that this is what it means? Do you know that this is, and then what you can even focus on there is not just the benefit, but the benefit of the benefit. So that's what I was doing in the leverage video. I was like, so there's this cool thing that all the greatest of all times do, which is leverage. If you don't know what leverage is, it's basically where you can get more out for what you can get in. And the benefit of leverage is that it saves you all this time so that you don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
So I could say like with the Ihsan, I could be like, if Ihsan means your commitment to excellence, I could be like, you know, one of the things that was really holding me back for such a long time when I was in corporate was that I just felt like I was playing way smaller than who I actually was. And as I
Like I was
started
meant
to,
for more than this. Yeah.
I was feeling like I was just meant for more. And so I started connecting more so to my faith and Islam and everything like that. And I quickly realized that, you know, I was doing the fundamentals and the basics, but there was nothing more than that. And I started to learn about this thing called Ihsan, that all the greatest, you know, female leaders like Khadija, the prophets, they all displayed this one thing, Ihsan. And this is what Ihsan is. It's your commitment to excellence, striving for that excellence. And the greatest benefit that you get of this is that you actually start to level up. You become a whole different person, a whole different identity, and you start to change and transform. And that's exactly what's happened for me over the last however long. I've transformed my entire mindset, my identity. I'm a whole different person. The biggest reason that I am is because I got a mentor, right?
Yeah.
So if you as well want to get connected to a mentor that can genuinely help you heal, change, transform, and level up your Ihsan, comment down below Ihsan, and I'll send you some more information. You see how I did that?
Yeah. That was quite good, actually. My screen. But like you say now, so to keep that message now uniform for a while, just the same message, like repetitive, whatever I choose, that person.
Right. So yeah, what you want to be, number one, understanding is what are all the things that you could possibly test in an ad, right? So first and foremost, I think you got to make some decisions. So first decision is, do you want to make a video ad, a photo ad, or like a that's it, video or photo. So it's video, right? So
Video,
keep the video
definitely. Let's just go for the thing that works right off the bat.
Want to do a video ad. So if it's not if you want to do a video ad, do you want to do a video ad where you're speaking or where it's writing?
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, do you want to do a video ad where you're speaking or where it's writing?
Speaking video ad.
Speaking to the camera, speaking behind the camera.
What do you mean behind?
I'll show you an example. Like
you're showing a picture, but you're talking in the background. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like you've got B-roll, but then you're talking in the background.
Okay. I think this talking, like maybe both, like what you did there while you were speaking. Then you've got like sort of Types of other.
That's a good choice. That's a good
Yeah.
choice. Yeah.
So they're not
So
like
you
bored of just looking at your face.
Yeah, you have to have stuff on there that can educate people. That would be
Yeah.
great. So you've got the type of ad that you're gonna have, and you also said it's gonna have some edits on top. So
Yeah.
this is another decision: scripted or non-scripted.
Ooh, that's a tough one for me. I won't lie. Let me just stop this. I think I would start off with the script, but then not say it as it's written in the script. You know what I mean? I just sort of like give me a framework of what I'm supposed to be saying, and then I can maybe
Yeah.
put it in my own words or add
Yeah.
my own flavor to it.
Because the ideal is to not have a script. The ideal is
Yeah,
straight
yeah,
from
I
the
know
heart.
what you're saying, but
No
like I
stuff
feel
in
like
it.
I would just like start, fluffing around, and then it'll just be one.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. So having a framework at the beginning is better than script. It's kind of like the middle ground,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When I just said mine to you, like, I think that was less. There wasn't even necessarily a framework, but part of the reason why is because of I've done that many of them that the framework is just part of who I am. Like that's
Yeah.
the difference. So the next question is, if it's not going to be scripted, we know that you're going to talk to the camera.
Basically.
The thing first is deciding on the actual contents now of the ad. So do you want it to be, even before that, target audience?
Right.
You know who you're targeting?
You know who that is, yeah.
That's decided. Every single ad, it's going to be the same target audience every single time. Who are you going to describe it as and call them out?
The corporate Muslim mums.
Corporate Muslim mums. Okay.
That was the initial ad that I made. But I guess they don't have to be corporate, because I was thinking about this the other day. Is like my message on Instagram at the moment is that I'm a stay-at-home mom. When I sort of transitioned from corporate to staying at home mom, and I found my purpose as being this. I don't long for that life that I had.
Yeah.
So, but there's that need to find something to do, like, when you have a spare time, like something that you can work on, a project for yourself, when it doesn't involve like your family and your children, something for yourself. That's why I got into finding something to do online, basically. So is that to have like sort of a joint, like a stay-at-home mom and a corporate mom, or I don't know, both or one?
Well, I
Or
think the
either.
danger with stay-at-home mom is that you're going to get a lot of people that are just not
Qualified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a dangerous thing there, because otherwise, a stay-at-home mom is going to be like happy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they won't be in any type of pain that you can resolve. But
Not necessarily. Like some moms will like want to find something to do,
yeah, so basically,
but then they
like
might not
what I
necessarily
would
be
say,
financially qualified.
yeah, from what I know of mums, it's like there is another target audience of people who could be a good target audience where they're stay-at-home mums, and that's like the retired mums. Because I know their pain as well. It's like they need to find a sense of purpose because they're bored. So like they have income, and they have like good credit and stuff like that, but they're just bored out of their minds. The thing with the retired mums is that it's a question of, do you want to work with retired mums, like people who are 50s and 60s?
Would it be like, will I be able to relate to them or not?
No, I mean, would you enjoy working with those people? Like, do you feel like that's the type of people who, if you had an Airbnb, you guys were having like a weekend retreat, get together?
Probably not.
That's
Yeah.
no.
That's like my mom.
This is it, right? Like you probably you don't want that. You don't want it, so avoid it.
Yeah. So we just gotta focus on the corporate
Yeah, people
Muslim moms. Let's just stick to that. That was the initial plan anyway.
are used to.
Could be corporate Muslim mums. Because the thing about corporate is it's like that's basically white collar jobs, and I think that's your background, isn't it? Like you came from an office.
Finance.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So that can work pretty well. So you've got your target audience,
Yeah.
and after the target audience, now you're looking for, okay, well, what's going to be the main offer that you're going to give to the target audience? What's the main offer? And your offer is basically like a description of the transformation and what they get at the end. So I think you said for yourself, one of the things that has been the biggest game changer for you has been like the personal growth, the mentorship. So is that what you want to focus on? Is the offer?
Uh, I'm just thinking of like, does that attract the people that are actually looking to get into business or just personal growth?
Doesn't have to. Doesn't have to, because if you just focus on getting a customer who like wants to be in changing their life, like if you think about someone like Madiha, for example, and you know she's the one that you were like, you're a freaking superstar. She, when I first spoke with her, didn't care about the business. It was literally like, I just want to level up and grow as a person and heal and become better. And then
Because she'd already been through like a sort of healing journey through her with her illness and I think so. I think she
that's another
gets
thing too.
she
Yeah,
gets how
she just
important it is. Yeah.
yeah. So she already likes it. She already likes personal growth. She likes to be a part of it. And you know, it could be a case where it's like she's read books. And I know this for the corporate Muslim mums as well. I know a lot of corporate Muslim mums is like they read the books, they watch the videos, they go on TikTok, they attend the events. But one thing that they don't do because they don't really feel worth it so much is like they don't always get one-to-one mentorship and coaching, but they want it. It's like one thing that I know they all really appreciate, they love from what I've experienced, but there's just not that many people that are offering that right now in that particular space, so they don't have it, you know? So they're happy to do things from a distance, but then to trust somebody who has the understanding of them, they don't really get that. So you don't have to be doing business benefits. You really don't. It could just literally be like focus on the mentorship aspect.
Yeah.
Like I met someone in LA when I went there, and she was literally saying I got to 6A by just talking about the community. Not even growth or mentorship, just literally just join the community, be full part of like-minded people. And then after they were in the community, you start asking people in the community, like, you know, what do you do for work and stuff? And they're like, I just got an online business. Wait, were you an online business? That's cool. How do I get one? And then they're in. So yeah, you could just literally go all in with the whole personal growth, mentorship, leveling up. That could be the main offer. So when you think about it now, in terms of personal growth, because that's quite generic, how could you make it more specific in terms of the result? For example, if I'm in fitness and that's the main thing I'm focused on, I could say to you, we're going to get you boulder shoulders. You'd probably be like, I don't want boulder shoulders.
No.
So it's the same thing with personal growth. There's like certain things that
It's
maybe
more
some
specific.
people want. You
Yeah.
want to make the result desirable to your target audience. So what do
Right.
you think is like the most desirable result that you can offer to your target audience? What do you feel like is the main thing that you've gained from personal growth, personal development so far?
Confidence.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And is there a specific type of confidence? Because some people have like body confidence, some people have like, you know,
Speaking
confidence.
and like content creation, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's like communication confidence.
communication. But is that something that the corporate mom would be looking for, you think? Because they're already in that environment where they need to display some level of confidence.
Yeah. But were you looking for it?
No.
Mhm.
Well, when I was in that world.
In that world, you weren't really looking for that, is what you're saying.
Not really.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, I think at some points, I would say.
Yeah, no, so let me ask you this. The communication might not necessarily be the result. It might be the thing that helps you get the result. So what's the benefit of being better at communicating? Like, how has that made a significant impact to your life now?
Being able to like sort of articulate my thoughts better and get my
Yeah.
message across.
How does that make your life better?
I feel like more confident to say something, whereas before I wouldn't necessarily say I'll think it. I'll think it, but I won't say it. Now
But you
I
wanted to
just,
say,
but I wanted to say it, but like I had this thing like where I'd want to say something in the moment, but I don't, and then later on in the day I think, oh, I should have said that. I could have said that.
so
That
you
would
know
have
what that
helped.
sounds
But then
like?
I never say it anyway. So
Yeah. You
maybe
know what that
someone
actually
else.
sounds like? It's freedom.
Yeah, freedom to speak your mind.
Freedom to express what you actually want to say. Like, imagine
Yeah.
how many of the corporate Muslim mums are there, like thinking things that they want to say to their boss or thinking things that they want to say to their
I
husband.
have experience with that to be honest. Like I did get like fed up the once, and I just told my manager off because I just had enough.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
was like, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like freedom to just take your power back. Like, it's freedom and empowerment. I think those are two main like things that you're truly offering. Freedom and empowerment. That's the results. And not location freedom, not financial freedom, not like time freedom, but just that freedom to be authentic and express what you feel.
yeah.
That's pretty big. So that's the offer. Now, because you decided on that, so you just hammer down that message again and again in the ads. The second thing you wanted to decide on is what we call a unique mechanism. So
Right.
your unique mechanism, this isn't the destination. This isn't going to South Africa. This isn't the island. This is the plane ride. How
Right.
is your
How are
plane
you
ride
gonna get
different
there?
from everybody else's plane ride? Yeah. What's the vehicle as to how you're going to take them there that's better than everybody else's version of how they become free? So how you can determine what your plane ride should be. This is where starting to assess the competition is a good idea, doing a little bit of market research. And so you should kind of already know, since you've been through this journey yourself, like when it came to gaining more of that self-empowerment, the freedom and authenticity, what had you tried and how did those other methods go compared to now?
You mean previously when I tried other things?
No, it could even be on this journey now. Because, like, for example, one of the things that I honed in on when I was doing my business was doing it in a way where it was all doing it myself. Like, I
Copying.
did it that way.
Yeah. 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 Uh,
So I give you one example.
yeah. Go on.
Have you read books since you
Yes.
started your business?
Yes.
Do you think it was the biggest thing that helped you with
Oh yeah, that
your
was definitely one of the biggest things.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
So
sort of, I think like also like the coaching, like the mentorship and the coaching, like yourself and James, that helped a lot
okay, so like
together with the
we can
books.
we can write these all down. So you can
Yeah.
write down books, you can write down coaches. Is there anything else?
And then sort of trying to implement whatever I was learning as fast as I could. That helped.
Implement whatever you're learning as fast as you can.
But that may
So
be more so like when it comes to the business side of it, not really the personal. Oh,
so we're talking now about the empowerment and freedom of expression. Like that's
hmm.
whatever helped you with that.
Yeah, again, like just doing the content stuff, for example.
Yeah.
Even though I
So
wasn't like really good at it in the beginning, but just did it anyway.
okay. So content, would you say that that was like something that was like outside of your comfort zone?
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe that's
Yes.
what it is that helped you
So
to,
pushing myself out of my comfort zone.
yeah, taking action outside comfort zone. Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there anything else?
What else? Being in a community of people that were sort of like-minded.
Like-minded community. Yeah.
Mm. That would be the same. That would be part of it, isn't it? Going to the events and that's being a part of the community and seeing what
No, I mean it could be different offline events. Like some online communities,
live
schools
events.
do offline events. Yeah, offline events.
Yeah, attending.
There's coaching.
It's a different feel though when it's an online event and then you actually with people, isn't it? It's a completely different energy. You literally feel the energy from everyone in that
Yeah.
space. Yeah, that's a big one also, I think. Because I think like we were there in February this year. And that was a big push for me to just start doing things instead of watching everyone else, watching you, you know?
Probably wouldn't be where you are right now if you didn't go to that event.
Yeah, that was a real big push. And I always think about it, like the way it happened. It was so fate. It was fate that we went there.
100%.
Isn't it? We talk about it like all the time. Like this, that was fate that we ended up in Tenerife.
And practically most of the events that I've been to, it's like been the same as well. Like it's crazy.
Like yeah, like you can fate's like pushing you in in this direction, and you just like to go with it, just go with the flow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The
definitely.
flow takes you to events.
That was a yeah, I think big. That was a big part of it. Change in my mindset, and yeah, I think that's about it. The coaches, the books. Mm, did I miss out anything?
So those are the things that did work. Was there
Mm.
anything you tried to get the result of freedom of expression, empowerment that didn't work?
But I tried copying other people's content style, like just looking at other pages and tried copying it, but it did feel like it was me. It was yeah. I
Yeah.
feel
So
like
like you
that's
could
something that
say,
didn't work.
yeah, you could say like you've tried almost like uh copying trends
Yeah.
or
Trend, yeah.
trying to keeping up with trends. I think that's the
Mm.
way to
Yeah. What else didn't work that I tried? Mm,
The thing like on a basic level, like
no, just that didn't help with like personal development. Mm, well,
my thing with it,
that wasn't like personal development though. Yeah. I'm trying to stick to this. Mm, mentorship. So that was also part of it. Eh? Something that I've tried that didn't work.
I mean, think about like even for your target audience, maybe you've tried like listening to your local masjid or your imams, like sort of what they were telling you to do to be a good Muslim. Like you tried that on its own and it didn't give you everything that you wanted. That could be one thing.
Mm, in terms of personal development, you mean?
Yeah,
Development in my faith.
yeah. Like you want it to grow, and like you went to these sister circles. Maybe I don't know if you go to them.
No. I'm really bad with the socializing, like honestly. I'm very bad with the socializing. Like I'm on groups, even
Yeah, there you
local
go.
ones.
There you go.
And they
Try
have
try.
like meetups all the time, and I'm just like, sorry, I can't make it or whatever. I
But
never
that's what you can.
I've
That's
been to
what
like
you can.
one.
That's what you can share. Like I used to jump in these WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups, and I just never used to engage.
They probably have the same thing in it.
Yeah.
Let me write that down, yeah. That doesn't really help with my personal growth. So. Mm, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's all the things that you've tried.
That didn't work.
Okay. So what about like before you started the business? Was there anything you tried back then that didn't work?
Well, I never even, considered working on my, except for learning skills and, doing these courses and trainings and stuff. Was that personal development? I don't think so. Not really. It was just not even much mindset work, really.
So I guess
That was,
that other
sorry?
yeah, I guess that other option is just kind of like going with the motions and hoping that everything is gonna
Yeah.
get better. That's a strategy.
Yeah. And like sort of you pray for something, but you don't
Mm,
work towards it, like in a way. Like what the
exactly.
guy on the video was saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep
So
forgetting
you
his
tried
name is
praying.
Yala. He was
Yeah, the
saying,
count. Yeah.
you can't pray and not, you gotta pray and plan, then it works. Something like that. It was, yeah, praying for change
Tried
and
hoping and praying and like just
yeah,
didn't.
but not taking action towards change. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now, if you had to look at like the top 3 things that have actually worked for you, what would you say were out of everything that you've listed, like the biggest game changers, the most valuable ones?
So the books, the mentorship, and the coaches, and the live event was a definite big one there. Even though it was a one event, it had a big impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And out of all 3 of them, which one would you say was probably the thing that had the biggest impact?
I'd have to pick between books or coaches. But if I didn't have the coaches, I wouldn't know about the books. Isn't it? Because like if you just sit on your own and you think about personal development, like where do you start on Google?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
You'll just
but
read the
someone
same
that
book
has
over
been
and
through the
over.
process and knows, okay, this book is like, from all the others, that this one you need this one at this moment.
Yes.
That you're not going to get from Google.
Good. I think it should be mentorship and coaching is like the number
Yeah.
one thing for you.
Yeah.
Because even then, like you can talk about books, you can talk about live events, but just say that, well,
It's because of
it's great
those.
because
Yeah.
of the fact that
Yeah.
the mentors are in those things, but it's the mentorship really that's the number one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So, um, so now here's the thing.
Mm.
Here's how you can get smart with it, because everyone's heard of mentors before,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
So if
it's a
you
word that's like flooding around like on the internet. Everyone's
Mhm.
a mentor and a coach now, and
Exactly. Everyone's a mentor, everyone's a coach. So if you just say like, "Yo, you got to do this thing that's like mentorship and coaching, it's revolutionary," people will be like, "Yeah, we heard this spiel before." So this
yeah.
is where
And I don't have that word on my Instagram. I didn't put like mentor or coach or whatever. But like
you don't have
someone that's
to.
been following me, like
Yeah,
in South Africa, asked my mom, like, "Oh, so is she like a coach now or something?" My mom was like,
exactly.
"I don't know." Like maybe
That's
just contact her and ask her.
yeah,
But like this
that's
is the
what
thing, like this just everyone's using that term now.
yeah, yeah. No, people have to categorize you somehow. So
Yeah.
um they'll do that. But here's where you get smart, because you can actually become creative and be like, okay, well, there's regular mentorship and then there's like our type of mentorship.
Mm.
So if you was to look at the biggest thing about how the mentorship that you've experienced over the last 10
Yeah.
months or however long it's been,
Well, yeah,
what
less
has
than
separated this type of mentorship with all of the types of mentorships that you know out there or that you've experienced that just made it better?
I think hands down, it's got to be like the proximity I have. I've got like
Mm,
access to mentorship, like at the fingertips, which is not. I don't think that's very common, to be honest. I don't think it's at all. You've got to make appointments, and you got to, sort of wait in line, wait your turn, you know, and then you sort of lose interest and you forget what you needed the help with in the first place. So yeah, I think having it like if I have a question, I can text you like immediately, even if you don't respond immediately. I know it's sent and it will get responded to at some
yeah.
point in the day.
So
So
that's
yeah, I
like
think that's the biggest one.
that's the biggest thing is proximity to
Mm.
high level mentors. Um, is there anything else that's the biggest difference between regular mentorship and kind that you experienced?
Mm. I guess it's the experience of the mentors. That's a big
Okay.
plus. But then I wouldn't have that necessarily yet.
No, no, you don't have to. You're just promoting it.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Then in that case, yeah, it's definitely the experience and the yeah, the experience that the mentors have together with like the character.
Okay, so I think here's what you want to do with this benefit, because the idea is that like there's a scale that we're talking about there where
Mm.
your experience on one side, which
Mhm.
is where you're not going to get proximity to those people, because someone like Tony Robbins, someone like
Yeah,
Dean Graziosi, like those guys, they're the most experienced, but you got least proximity. So what you're actually describing as a benefit is the proximity experience balance.
mm.
So it's all one benefit.
Yeah, being in close proximity to mentors that have experience and that can guide you, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that they've made.
Yeah, yeah. So like the way that I would be teaching that in ads would be like, so from what I've found is like you've either got three types of people. You've got
Mm.
one person who is like incredible mentor. You read the best book from them, life changing. You watch a webinar and you implement everything that they've said, and it can genuinely be a benefit.
Yeah,
But the problem with it is that you never get to go on the phone with them ever.
yeah,
Then there's the type of person who's like, you know, always with you. You can call them whenever, but they don't have much experience, which is why they're always available. So it ends
yeah.
up being that you're friends with them rather than gaining value from
Value
each
from
conversation.
them. Right.
And it's so rare that you could ever have this middle category. It's almost impossible
Yeah.
to find, in
Both.
fact, where you
Mm.
have the best of both.
Mm.
But this is someone who has proximity and experience, and you're catching them just before they're about to skyrocket.
Right. Yeah.
So you sell it like it's Bitcoin, but for mentorship.
Yeah. I'm just writing this down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the offer then.
Well, that's just one benefit. I think you want to go for like three. And you can test as many as you want, but like have a minimum of three. So you've got the proximity experience balance. What else makes the mentorship that you've experienced over the last however long better than every other type of mentorship coaching experiences out there?
One-to-one.
Personalization,
Yeah.
which I'd say it's probably still like
Still the same in the same area.
still kind of proximity, isn't it? Because you don't
Yeah.
really get one-to-one with experience.
Yeah.
Think about like your target audience as well.
With the mentorship.
So not just what you've had, but like maybe what would be desirable to more people who are in your target audience as well.
Yeah, a Muslim mentor.
Finally, there's a Muslim mentor.
Yeah. That understands yeah, definitely. That's definitely
With
one of
halal mentorship, like
them.
that's what we
Allow mentor.
HMC certified, halal mentorship certified. I
That
think
would
if you
actually quite cool to get like a certification, isn't it?
halal mentorship certification. Yeah, I think if you genuinely use that phrase, like people would love it.
That's like
They'd
a
be like,
catchphrase, yeah. Halal.
HMC? Oh yeah, I know what that is. Halal mentorship certified. You gotta have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely for my target audience, like a big
It's massive.
draw
massive.
card. Yeah. What else are we thinking of? What have I benefited the most? What do you think, baby, from having a mentor for the last few months?
Where do I start? Where do I start?
You've seen like literally the change in me now. over the last few months.
Confidence. Looking forward, positive. Like the way you treat these neighbors now. The way you
Yeah,
treat
I'm
the neighbours.
actually like more compassionate.
I was like, what?
Well, like yeah, I think that book also is like came to us
Yeah.
at the right time, didn't it? Like we were like hating our neighbors because of how difficult they were, but we forgot about all this, like being Muslims, like how we're supposed to behave. Like gotta put all that aside and treat them. But they just happened to move out, so there we go. But we lost that one.
Yeah.
But we'll know better next time. That's the
What else
important
could
thing.
I do? What else could we do different? Can't look at
It's
anyone's neighbour.
the hardest, like you said in that. You remember we did that live about compassion? Was that live or what was that about?
Yeah, I did.
And you said that it's easy to be compassionate towards someone you like. The
Yeah.
test is when you can be compassionate to someone that you actually don't
Yeah.
like. So if you saw that neighbor now that you don't like because he hang up, flag up outside our house or whatever, and if he was in trouble, you would help him.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't.
You said you wouldn't. I would like to think that. I think I would. I would, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's what surprised me the most. And I think I think a year ago you would have been like,
Yeah, because like they just like kind of disappeared. Like we don't see the kids anymore. And I was like, wow, I hope something like not wrong and they're okay wherever they are. The mom and kids just disappeared. Because it's like, and he's like, why do you even care? They're gone now. That's all the better parts. You have to put that aside.
yeah, I guess.
So yeah, that's something I've gained.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't be compassionate before, but like I think I'm more conscious of it now.
Maybe that's like because I used that word earlier on today with the person on the call. I was like
Conscious.
conscious collaboration. So
Yeah, I
maybe
heard that.
and as soon as I said it, she lit up and she was like, "Oh, conscious!" Like,
Yeah, it's a good word, that one.
so maybe you could like kind of go on that one, like where when you think about what unconscious coaching or unconscious mentorship would look like, what do you think the difference would be there?
Like it's not tailored, it's sort of generic. Conscious.
Okay.
More aware than it conscious. You're more aware. So
Yeah.
the opposite of that would be being unaware or less
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah.
Less aware of their feelings, or what am I trying to say? They're less aware of their pains and their struggle. I'm trying to help them with that, or
Maybe it could be like a thing where it's like the way that I mentor, the way that you might mentor, the way that James might mentor, I think the thing that all three of us have in common is that we are more like the empathic and the ones that can like genuinely really feel what other people are going through. So I think that's what you're kind of describing with that compassion too, is it's that real understanding of them, which again is like, you can title it conscious, or you can say that it's empathic, but one of these things. Maybe a way to say it is like heart-centered.
That's a good one. Heart-centered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the three main benefits, right? Now, here's the fun part, is that you can actually come up with a name for this style of mentorship or coaching.
It's got to be something unique, but not too unique where they don't know what I'm talking about.
It wants to be something that encompasses the three things that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Number one. And it also wants to be something that is relatively believable, because it's like almost scientifically proven, or it's Islamically confirmed, or it's like numerically
Numerologically.
not numerologically. That's the wrong audience.
I don't get that numerology thing, though, to be honest. So
I was gonna do a live on that today. If you weren't gonna talk
it?
about, if I wasn't gonna do about ads, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about numerology, because literally today there's been about 5 times where I've seen 555. It's been crazy, and it's all when I should have been seeing it as well. Like
Does it mean anything?
Yeah, it's significant. Like the 555.
Oh, I saw 555 on that guy's video, didn't I?
What, today?
Was it 55? Yeah, in one of the calculations he was doing. Was it 5? Yeah, it was definitely 55 something. 550 or something like. I'm just thinking about fives. I've seen fives today, a lot of fives in that video, where he does his calculations.
Yeah, I think he had it in there as well. I think he had it in there. I might have noticed, but every time I see it, I pick up on it. And literally about 5 times today. It's a lot of times to see the same repeated number. So, and it was also when I was seeing it too, it was like just after I had this amazing thought, because the 5 represents change. Significant change is about to come, or travel, exploration. So as soon as I had like these big thoughts about this is what I want to change,
I want to see fives. Yeah, like I know my mom was like that when she was younger. When she was a child, she used to dream about numbers. Or she'd dream about something, right? And then when she woke up, her dad, like my mom wasn't a Muslim, so her family weren't Muslim when she was younger, right? So her dad would, like when she woke up, he'd say, the first thing he'd do is like ask her, what did you dream last night? And then she'd tell him, and based on that, he used to like go and bet on horses or whatever, and he'd win. Yeah.
That's a dope gift.
She was like she is super intuitive though, my mom. So I don't know if that's maybe something
Hereditary.
maybe. I don't think I have it at the same level as she does now. She's super tuned into it though.
She's super.
Super
I
tuned.
she the phone stopped charging or something, started charging in her hand or something.
Yeah, she's weird. She's got some weird tricks here. Like she's like a magician, I'll tell you. And she knows things about people. Like she'll just look at someone and she's like, yeah, I don't like that person. And then like after a few days or something, you'd hear something about them. So now we got this 3. What are we going to call it now?
You could use ChatGPT.
I was just thinking I'm going to put all the stuff in there tomorrow and see what it comes up with. Give me 100 ad copy ideas.
So I was thinking.
I'm not going to say it like word for word either, because my ChatGPT that thinks I speak like an English woman and I don't. But it knows I'm South African, but still, but anyway, I'm going to work on that.
So we've got the 3 benefits were halal, Islamic, indicated.
Proximity to experience balance. Halal mentorship, HMC certified. We can't say that though, can you? Because that's, can you say that? They don't cover like SWOT.
You could say it is better than HMC. This is
Yeah.
this.
Better than.
And then the third thing,
Conscious.
halal.
Oh, heart-centered.
Heart-centered. I like that.
I mean, it's 6 specific to these women, not just, Nice.
Ooh.
They gave you some good ones.
Yeah.
He's smiling, so that's a good sign.
I'll share my screen. You can see.
Yeah. The segment, so fun. Hybrid spiritual scientific names. Wow. Heart halal integration model. Proximity neuro alignment method. I like that third one actually. That's quite good.
This is the Baraka-based behavioral framework.
I like that one. Halal I can't even say that word. What is it? Psychophysiology. Psychophysiology. Heart-centered system protocol. That's nice also. Adaptive mentorship model. That's quite good also.
These ones about the ethical attachment growth model.
Heart-led behavioral architecture. I like that one.
Ooh. The ones at the bottom.
Neuroharmony.
That's good.
That's good, yeah. What's Mizan?
Mizan is like
Mizan is
straight.
No.
Yeah, straight.
Like a straight. No, man.
I really like this one. Neuro-Rahma integration.
Yeah, that's nice. Neuro-Rahma.
Halal Neuroflow.
Halal Neuroflow. That's nice.
Oh, that would be good. That would be good. Give me more examples that are just 1 to 3 words.
Halal Neurosyncat alignment. Mizan. What is Mizan?
Halal Flow.
Rahma dynamics now. Sukoon method. That's more like tranquil, no, it's not about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Aligned mothering. Sakina. Soul engine.
In the first one. Go back.
Yeah. Believable. Ethical. Heart-centered cognition. One word. Mizanics. Pragmatics. That's good. I like that.
Mizanics. Sakunics.
Sukunix.
Halalitics. These are quite cool. Nora.
Islamics.
Ihsanic. Oh, that's not gonna work. Barakos. Barakos. Sukunix. Noor framework. Rahma protocol. Let's show it up again.
Was
Yeah.
that my protocol?
Rahma
Yeah.
protocol. Rahma calibration.
Nora intelligence.
Noor cognition. Noor metrics. Rahma science. Well dynamic. So many. I don't like so much choice. I'm very, very, very bad at I'm very indecisive. It's better to just close my eyes and just pick one.
Yeah.
Science and soft. Perfect mothers, one credible but kind. Peace protocol. Simple. Yeah, it needs to be like simple, I think. Premium.
I think we can brand it for. I feel like it should have the word mentor and mum slash mother slash
Courageous training of eyes
inside.
and mom. That's these sound better, I think.
Mother Mizan.
Mother Mizan. What you see what Mizan means?
Mizan means straight, I'm sure.
No, it's
Surah Rahman, the beginning. Mizan. No, balance, justice. Straight, yeah. Justice, balance, love. It's a cool mental science. to sound too like scientific, neuro, and don't sound like just basic.
But then it sounds more like professional.
Mhm.
Maternal
Maternal
Islam.
Islam mentorship. That looks nice. Balance,
That's clean.
regulation, justice. I like that one.
Yeah.
Maternal.
I think this is a really good one, to be fair.
Yeah,
man.
that's a good
Islam
one. Yeah.
is just excellent.
Ihsan mentorship. Let me write that down.
Okay. Like maternal Islam mentorship. What's missing? Science.
Behavioral framework,
No
regulation, alignment model,
theory. No.
dynamics,
Yeah.
neuron, maternal
Framework.
Ihsan,
No, that behavior framework sounds like your.
behavior therapist.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Neuro maternal Islam mentorship.
Neural
What do you think
instant
to that?
scientific legitimacy, neuro. When you say neuro, like when I hear the word neuro, I just think of brain, isn't it? So is that what we're meaning now? Brain.
I mean, do you feel like the mentorship for yourself has more so been for something else that's not the brain? Do you feel like we said it's heart centered, isn't it? So maybe instead of focusing on the brain, focus on the heart, but keep it scientific.
Heart science. That one there, number 3.
Heart science, maternal Islam mentorship.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't like cardio. Sounds like something medical.
Yeah, cardio is not the one. I like heart, the word heart. I like the word emotional. I like the word like, what else is a word to describe the heart? Is there a word for the heart in Islam? Must
Qalb.
be. It's the say that again.
Qalb. With the qaf. Heart science. Heart science. That's nice. Number 9, yeah.
Qalb centered maternal Islam
mentorship. Qalb aligned is also nice. Heart emotion.
Ooh,
Oh, Ascension. I like that one.
yeah. Emotional Ihsan.
I like the first one.
Qalb Ascension.
Yeah, I like that.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah. Qalb Mastery.
Harmony is good also.
Ooh, Qalb Mastery.
Done,
The
right.
maternal Ihsan
Yeah, I like
meditation.
that.
Qalb Mastery and Qalb Ascension. But I think Mastery is probably like the highest level. So we like Mastery.
Yeah.
Can you make it sound even more impossible to attain and desirable?
Sovereignty. Transcendence. Oh, that's good. I like that.
Rising above its all patterns. Mm.
Apex. No, I don't like that one. Ascendancy.
You
There was
like
something
Ascendance?
else.
or
What
Ascendancy?
was the one we said above there? Sovereignty or transcendence. I like that one. Transcendence, not just mastering, right? Rising above its old patterns, feels divine, rare, luminous. Yeah, I like that number 3. The first 3 are good. So
Yeah. So we'll
I
say
think
Qalb,
transcendence I like better.
Transcendence, Qalb Mastery, Qalb.
Ascendant.
Can they be more feminine, maybe? Transcendria.
I didn't know that was a word.
It's not. Qalb.
Ascension grace. Ascendance grace. Transcendent.
Can we have some alliteration, maybe?
Transcendent tranquility. That's nice. 3. Ascension. Heart harmony mastery. Heart highness. Her heart awakening. Her heart refinement.
Ooh, that's pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her heart awakening. I like that.
Oh, her heart rising was nice also. On that one. The second one below that.
I like these. I like these. Her heart awakening, her heart rising.
Her heart harmony is nice also. Yeah, number 2 and 3. So,
We like her heart awakening. Rising.
awakening is better.
I like awakening too.
Yeah.
So her heart awakening, I think it just really describes as well the benefits of what you've talked about. Like, and it's somewhat inclusive too, but I mean, Muslim mums will love that.
Yeah.
I know, her heart awakening. It's great. Do you want to go with that?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, her heart awakening. It's really cool. So now we've got the unique mechanism, and you've got the benefits of the unique mechanism. So after that, you now also want to have the benefits of the benefits. So I give you an example. Like one of the benefits was halal. So you could just ask ChatGPT with this to be like, yo, give me 20 or 50 benefits of why for a Muslim mum, she should have Islamic centered mentorship rather than regular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me 50 examples as to why she should have proximity balance with experience as opposed to either one. And it'll just give you loads of benefits. And then those are ones that you can be sort of testing. And the benefits that you want to get want to be both logical and emotional benefits. So, for example, proximity, experience, balance, logical benefit. Well, you'll be able to spend more time with your mentor, so it's logical.
Yeah.
Emotional benefit, imagine how it would feel being in the presence of someone who energetically you're going to be able to bounce off of, like it's going to feel incredible. Imagine what it would have as an impact on your kids. Like that's the emotional benefits. So you tell the story a little bit more. So that's one thing. Like I said, another thing that you can include is sort of the proof. So you've got the promise now, but you also want proof. Now your proof could be in a few different areas. So you can prove the offer by how like your story, you've gone through the transformation. So that's the first bit of proof. I went from A to B in this amount of time, and and here's the proof. This is who I was. This is who I am now. Another way that you can add in proof is proof of the mechanism by almost showing like how everything else didn't work. Tried this, tried this, tried this, none of it worked. So here's proof this works better because it doesn't have the things that these other things have. So as well as sharing like the benefits of what you've got now, the benefits want to be, when you're talking about everything else, it just wants to be the opposite. That makes sense. So I either had, like I was saying,
what didn't work.
Yeah. It was either like a Christian person that was trying to give me all this stuff to teaching me the Bible. I didn't want to hear it. I want none of that stuff.
I just get flashbacks of Brendan Brown.
I want none of it. I want none of it. Like, uh, I was wishing that this guy was just Muslim. It'd been so much better. So yeah, there's the opposites, and you can talk about the experiences. It'll be relatable. It'll be funny. That's what people will connect with, not necessarily what you got, but like the bad experiences. You can even start an ad with a hook, and your hook could be something as simple as, "Have you ever paid for a coach that was a Christian when you wanted him to be a Muslim?"
Oh, that was get some attention. Maybe I'll
Like,
play a clip of Brandon Brown in the background. Can
yeah. I mean,
you do that?
you can just literally like my first
Yeah,
coach. I remember it.
like the hook. You can start off with saying like, "Have you ever have you ever got a Christian coach and you really wished you were some Muslim?" And you play like a clip of because he always started off his talks with like something from the Bible. I mean, we have nothing against the Bible. I think there's a lot of goodness in it. But when you just like bash it on you like all the time, and come
I
on,
think
man.
it's because it was Easter at the time, though, as well.
I think he's like that all the time.
But I think he's like that all the time.
Oh yeah, he
His
loves the book.
community is like that all the time.
Good
The whole
attitude.
community is all Jesus people. So yeah,
Yeah, but a lot of them just do it because they feel like if they do that, that's where the success is going to come from.
that's a very
So it's
big
not
part
like
of
in
it.
their own conviction in their faith. It's that obviously he's doing it and he's successful. So if I do the same thing, then I'm going to be successful.
Yeah, and you've all got to follow the same.
Yeah, follow
You've
the
all got to
script sort
jump
of
on the
thing, but
same train.
that never works for anyone.
No. So we've got the I mean the hooks, those are things that you can be testing for sure, like throughout the time period, because you don't have to keep them the same. So you can test the hooks. You've also got the like the body. So the body, you pretty much got the meat and potatoes there. You've got the proof, and now what you want
The
to
proof
have
will
is
come at
like,
the end, yeah? Like towards the end.
I mean, ideally you want to start with proof very quickly
Okay.
because people care about that to pay attention.
Yeah.
So you make a promise and then you give proof very quickly early on.
Right. So the promise would be the 3 things that we
No,
said.
so your promise is like, as an example, here's how to radically change your confidence in less than 5 days.
Okay. So you're gonna start with the promise and then give
Promise
the
and proof.
proof.
Yeah. And you're the proof.
And so where does the 3
That's the 3 benefits.
benefits go in?
Yeah, you can take the approach of like trying to describe all 3 of them in one, or you can kind of do what I did. Like I had 3 benefits for my unique mechanism. It was leverage, it was done for you, it was also like opportunity. Those are the 3 main things. So for yourself, you could have 3 of them, but I only talked about 1 in my video. I just talked about leverage.
Leverage, yeah.
Honestly, you spend a whole video talking about 1 benefit. It's just these are the 3 for your unique mechanism that you could be utilizing throughout. It's your thing, you know. You get to teach it however you want.
Right.
You can bullet point or you can go deep, but that's the body where you're describing the benefits. That's the main part. So if you
Right.
imagine in time, the hook is usually like 5 to 10 seconds maximum, and it's just the proof and the promise. The promise and the proof.
Then go into
The body wants to be roughly 50 seconds, around that amount, or 30 seconds. 30 to 50 seconds is what I would say is ideal.
3 benefits. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 3. It's just it could be
Or 3 or 1. Yeah. One
yeah,
of
it could be
the.
something you want to focus on, 3 or 1. And then the call to action
Yep.
is just literally like if you want to not
Mm.
have to experience XYZ, or if you want to experience XYZ, then I always go for a call to action of comment. Because the beautiful part about that is that if you have a winning ad, you can then have social proof because loads
Just
of other people might comment and it's like, oh, we want to comment then. And then the winning ad goes from like just having 2 to 3 comments to now from 4 or 5 people commenting, you got 100 comments because it just creates this chain reaction. So when you go for a call to action of the comment, you kind of want it to be something that's empowering. And you want it to be something that relates to what's been the theme of the ad. So, for example, in my one, I was talking about leverage, leverage, leverage. Comment leverage if you want to shortcut your success. For yours, if you're talking about the benefit of the Islamic one, you could say something like the real benefit of this is that now you're able to awaken the ihsan and truly start to embody this different part of your faith, taking it to a whole different level. So if you truly want that as your experience, then comment below either faith or ihsan. You take your pick,
Mm.
and I'll send you a DM.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you get them to comment and make it simple. Make it one word. Make it one letter. Something that's just like really
Yeah.
easy for them to put in. But also something that would be attractive to people who are looking at the comments and like, this is all faith comments. I like faith. This is all like Islam, So you make it attractive. But that's it. That's an ad.
Wow, yeah. It's funny how it's this complex when you have to think about it, but when you see the ad or you make it, it's just like a few seconds long. Or minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You
not.
gotta break it down in this way so you know exactly what you're doing in that few seconds.
Yeah. So people don't know the psychology that goes into
Yeah.
an ad. Imagine like the psychology
Yeah,
that goes into
absolutely.
a funnel and into a web class. Like there's a lot.
Yeah.
The psychology of an ad is like really basic, but because you can take something to the highest levels of what exists, I'm giving you high level stuff. Like I had to pay a lot of money to get this level of quality of an ad that would truly make my ads stand out in front of
Yeah.
everyone. So you could be putting out an ad and it's like really basic, just put out an offer, just like put out a bunch of stuff that's like what other people are putting out, copy. If you took it from that approach, then yeah, it is simple. You don't have to think much
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah,
But
but
what
then
I'm
you're
giving,
gonna go through the trial and error route and you're gonna
yeah,
spend lots of money.
this is tens of thousands of pounds worth of value that you're getting onto how to make a great ad
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
receiving right now, which is why
Yeah, I wouldn't have even given it this much thought, to be honest. I was just thinking, like, okay, I'm gonna put some things in ChatGPT and see what it comes up with. But now I see the structure and like what I need to focus on in the
this
ad.
just takes out all the guesswork. So you're not you can look back at the ad and you can watch it back and be like, yeah, I didn't really share the proof in that one. Or I didn't really like double down on the benefit that well in that one. I didn't. So you can get to see, is it missing certain aspects? Because that's like what I would say is the core components of what a good ad wants to have within it.
Yeah.
And then after you've actually come up with the idea as to what the message is going to be, it's then about the delivery. And the delivery of the ad is probably, out of everything, it's probably one of the most important things because you could have the best script that I could give you, but if a person doesn't necessarily feel like, yeah, she's saying what she means right now.
Yeah.
If they don't believe you because you don't believe even what you're in what you're saying, then they're probably not going to want to click. But somebody could have not been taught those things, say it in a way that is pretty damn convincing, and like get loads of comments, which I've seen lots of. Like I was going on TikTok recently and seeing just some people who have managed to like blow up their TikTok, get loads of comments, but I can just tell like they have no idea when it comes to marketing what actually works. They're all just copying each other, but saying it with conviction.
Yeah.
So with what you've got there, like if you can
More precision.
if you can communicate it in such a way where it's like we said, it's authentic, but it's also with conviction. So like saying it as if you mean it, not necessarily put on performance, but just
Genuine.
sharing your belief and sharing that conviction. If you say it from that space, then like that's the best way that you can really deliver it. And you want to, what else I would say as well is you want to deliver it in a way where it's like clear communication. I think this is one of the problems that I see on people's ads is like when they're saying it, it's either you can't hear people, you can't like make out even what they're saying. It sounds like they're mumbling. But when you look at a professional and how they put out an ad, it's in such a way where it's not too fast, it's not too slow, there's putting someone to sleep, but it's also very clear with the pronunciation of the words. That's important too.
Struggle with that.
Nah,
Enunciation.
pronunciation, not doesn't have to be enunciation. Just make sure that like every single word is being pronunciated well. Because just at the end of the day, you're probably going to put.
It gives me away all the time.
Yeah, you're going to probably put subtitles on your video anyway, so people will read what's being said. But for that one person who's actually watching it out loud and they're like, "Whoa, this is a Muslim woman that's like giving me this game. This is awesome. Let me go and follow her." If they heard you speak and it just wasn't that raw, then like that could be something that makes them not like want to follow. Again, it's you want people to look at you as if you're followable. They're safe with you as the leader, even if you're not necessarily the main mentor that is going to help them. Like they still want to be able to feel it in you that like it's something you believe.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna work on this tomorrow. Come up with some ad copies. Maybe make a few trial ones.
Yeah, my thing was like when I was in the best flow of making ads, and I was just like, it went from creating ads to just being in the flow of ads coming out. It was when I was doing minimum one ad a day, minimum. Sometimes I do more.
Yeah.
So
at least one.
Yeah, if you can. If you can do one a day, if you can do more, great. But yeah, like I said, like don't change too many of the variables apart from the things that you want to test, which is going to be your hook. You test your hook, you test your body, and the call to action. You can test that too. But don't change everything else, like where you are, like what you're wearing, target audience.
Keep it kind of uniform except for the message.
Keep everything the same and just keep on hammering it home again and again and again, because the offer is solid. At the end of the day, like who wouldn't want that, what you're describing? Now it's just about how can you put it to people in such a way where it's desirable.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is like, it's just getting better and better, isn't it? Yeah, it's just getting better and better. I'm like excited now.
It gets better when the more action that you take. That's actually what's happening. So it's not that I'm being the same person every single time. I'm not getting much better. I'm just there's more that's landing. There's more that you're taking. There's more that's actually value, because if you're someone that is on the extreme of I'm just kind of here to listen in and none of this is applicable to me, I'm not going to actually have any intention to move forward with this, then you don't get anything.
Yeah.
But if you know that, yeah, I'm about to take some action,
Benefit, yes.
it could be painful, it could be costly, but
Mm.
this saves me like tens of thousands of pounds. Great.
Yeah. Of course. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for
Let's see
coming.
what we can do with this. Alrighty. I gotta go to bed
Alright.
now.
Me too.
Okay. Thank you.
See
See
you
you
soon.
tomorrow. Inshallah.
Next time. Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum.
Awesome.